Fit to Love, episode 83, Fatal Dating Mistakes.
Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flizanes.
Hello and welcome to Fit to Love Sexy Saturdays. Today's show, Fatal Dating Mistakes. Great topic. I'm so happy to have Julie Ferman with us today. Julie is a professional matchmaker, providing free, private online registration for both men and women to be eligible for personal matchmaking referrals in Southern California, the U.S., Canada, and beyond. She's a seasoned dating coach, media personality, professional speaker, singles events producer, and a consultant to the matchmaking and dating industry. Her mission is to dignify and streamline the dating and love search process for selective, relationship-minded professionals. Julie provides a full menu of dating coaching, personal matchmaking services, and professional referrals to single men and women throughout the U.S., Canada, and worldwide. Julie met her husband of 25 years through a proactive love search of her own, and she has spent every day since helping singles make that all-important initial connection with the right people and to master the art of dating. With over 1,100 marriages to her credit, she knows the love business and is eager to share her secrets. Julie Ferman was awarded by iDate, an online personal watch, the Best Matchmaker Award in 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013. We've seen Julie on Dr. Phil, Good Morning America, The Today Show, NBC's The Match Off, NPR's The Brian Lehrer Show, and Fox News. And we've seen her in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Christian Science Monitor, LA Times, Woman's World, Westlake Magazine, the Los Angeles Business Journal, and the Orange County Business Journal. Welcome to the show, Julie.
Thanks so much for having me, JJ.
I'm excited to talk about this conversation because I've known you for so long. I knew you before I met my husband, and you've been in this matchmaking business for such a long time, and 1,100 marriages. That's impressive.
That's the ones we know about, and my favorite thing is when yesterday I got a holiday card from one of my couples that got married, and they have a baby now, and every year the baby gets bigger, and it's just really rewarding. Matchmaking doesn't always work, but when it does, it is a beautiful thing.
It must be very gratifying. And this topic today, fatal dating mistakes, is really important as we head into the new year and as we head into the Valentine's Day season, and as I launch the second version of Fit to Love, coupling all this information to empower people to really do it well and to know what they're putting out there in the world and to how to kind of alter that so that they get what they want. So I really look forward to today's show. So let's start with, what are the most common pitfalls that are entrapping today's modern-day daters?
Well, it's a great question, JJ, and I would say if there's one thing that's a common flaw that I see men and women both making, it's really simple. It's that their expectations, the person that they have sort of fictitiously stored in their mind as the perfect person, that expectation is not matching reality. So the problem is that they have concocted this person in their mind that they think is absolutely perfect for them, and it's kind of a defensive mechanism because this perfect person stored in the mind literally is fictitious. So nobody can match up, and that means that they can just stay nice and safe in their little corner or their ivory tower, making everybody else out there in the world wrong, and then they don't really have to open their heart, right, because the person's not good enough. So there's a way to get around it. Shall I tell you how to get around it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the secret is, it's pretty simple. You get out that list. Everybody pretty much has a list, of the perfect person, and I don't care how many items are on that list. These are the characteristics, the qualities, and the attributes that you'd really love to see all packaged up in one perfect person. It doesn't matter if there's 300 things on that list. But the tough part and the really important part is to prioritize and find those top 5 critical criteria. These are the things that if that person in your future didn't have these elements, you would be unhappy. So a person like you, JJ, I'm guessing that if you were out there looking and you're happily married, we hope you don't ever end up out there again. But I'm guessing that the person in your life is probably going to need to care about fitness and is probably going to need to care about, being together, an emotionally sound person. Whatever those top 5 things are, they're different for each person, but you've got to know what they are. And if the people who are literally knocking on your door, available, interested, excited to meet you, excited to date you, if they have those top 5 critical criteria, oh my goodness, that's the person to open the door to and allow this person in. Get to the first date, get to the second date, get to the third date, to really see if that bonding thing is going to happen, if the chemistry's there. And the trick is to not dismiss people casually and superficially because they didn't have item number 17 on the list or item number 372.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a list for years, and what I love about the list is that as I would get what I wanted on the list, sort of like shopping, like I'd try it on, and then I realized, oh, that isn't as important as I thought it was, and I don't like that like I thought I would like that. So every year or 2 years, I would alter my list based on how I was growing and the experiences that I'd had and what was more important. Things that you didn't think were important then became really important, like, for instance, loving animals and cats. I have cats, and so my husband had a cat, too, and he had grown up with cats, and that's important. I could not be with someone who is either allergic to cats or didn't like cats, and even though it kind of sounds superficial, I'm not giving up my cat. It took me a long time to really be very clear of how important that was, and it made it to the top of the list. So what are some of the list items do you think that people think are important, but just like I described, are either not that important or in reverse?
Such a great question. Part of it has to do with their lifestyle and the stage of life that they're in. So, for example, for people who are first time around looking for marriage and family, religion might be really important. If somebody really wants to raise their kids in the Christian tradition or in a Jewish tradition, it might be something that really might make one of those top 5 things. And yet on the other side, I'm working with a couple right now who are on date number 3, and they almost missed each other because she's preferably wanting to have a Jewish guy. He's not from a Jewish background. But you know what? They're both 60 years old. They're done raising their kids, and when I talked with both of them about it, they realized, oh my gosh, maybe we shouldn't really make this a critical criteria. Neither one of them goes to church or temple. So it's just to take a look and see what really matters and what doesn't. Height, how tall a guy is, let me tell you something. I've been matchmaking since 1990. I don't know one couple that made it or didn't based on how tall the guy was, or whether he had hair or not, or whether he happened to have a beard that day or not. And I see women casually dismissing men all the time because in her mind's eye, she sees a guy who's 6'2" or taller. You know that only 3% of American men are 6'2" or taller? So if women think that all the guys they should be dating are 6'2" or taller, they are really limiting themselves. The other thing that's commonly used as a qualifier that really shouldn't be is age. If a man is looking to get married and have a family and he wants to bear his own children, then that number might mean something because we all know that fertility gets more and more challenging for us girls after 35, certainly after 40. It's just a fact of life. But other than that, I really encourage people not to dismiss each other because of the age of that other person. We women, we live longer than men do. Average length of, guys will live to, I think, 74. Women will live to 82 on the average. So if men are quickly dismissing women because of their age, especially if they're in their 50s and 60s, it's really not a kind and compassionate thing for them to do because the truth of it is we girls are probably going to outlive our men. So it's just, I don't like to see people dismissing each other for age or height or some of those casual things. And for women, oh my goodness, we can develop attraction over time far better than men can. So if a woman is dismissing a guy because he doesn't fit her visual type, she's missing the boat. She should look to see if he has her critical criteria, and if so, give him a shot. Men need to be attracted. We can develop it over time. It's just one of those little differences between men and women.
Now, what about shooting out of our league? Like, how can we know if we're looking at the right type of people for us or if we're, like you said, visualizing something that doesn't really exist?
Well, it's an interesting little test that you can do. Anybody who's single and dating, take a look at your calendar. Take a look at the people that you're interested in right now, anybody you've dated or would like to date, and make a little list, and then look to see how many of those people, like what percentage of those people are also hot for you, also knocking on your door for that first, second, or third date, really interested and attracted to you. And my little suggestion is that if less than 25% of the people that you are hot for are also hot for you in a romantic way, like attraction, you have a shot with this person, then that means you're kind of pretty much shooting out of your league, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I've got a great client right now he's not a tall guy, he doesn't have hair, he's not the best looking man in the world, but he has incredible character, he's fun, he's funny, he's very accomplished. So his solution to the fact that he knows he's shooting out of his league, he likes a very attractive woman, is he throws a lot of spaghetti on the wall. We get him out on a lot of first dates, and there are enough women who recognize who he is that he's actually dating quite successfully. So your two options, if you know you're kind of shooting out of your league, if you don't know for sure, you can ask one of your friends. They'll probably tell you the truth. Or if you really want the truth, ask somebody who doesn't like you very much, and then you'll really get the right answer. But if you suspect that you're shooting out of your league, you got two choices. You can either broaden your interpretation of who might be an acceptable candidate, which I actually recommend, or the other thing you can do is just throw some more spaghetti on the wall. You've got to extend more invitations. You've got to get out there. You've got to really be proactive, whether you're a man or a woman, to have more chances with the type of person that you really want to be with. Because here's the conundrum. The more desirable you are, the more selective you're going to be. That's natural. But then that's further complicated by the reality that that target person that you would really like to meet, that person's hot and knows it and is very much in demand. You're not the only one who wants to date a person like that. So it is competitive. So broaden your interpretation of who might be acceptable and keep throwing spaghetti on the wall, especially if you know you're kind of shooting out of your league.
Let's talk about this whole out of your league and what sounds like, and what I know I rejected very early on in the dating process, is sort of that whole thing. It's the need or the neediness, or the desperation, or the, energetically, that never felt good to me. And as the old adage says, you usually find it when you're not looking. So what do you tell people who are desperate or really, really feeling like they're going to find the answers in the person, which we all know isn't true? You're not going to all of a sudden be happy because you find your mate. Because, to me, the work starts when you get married. There's the work on yourself to be prepared to attract the right person for you. And then there's the work about what happens when you're in the marriage and having the marriage serve you in the way that it's supposed to, and growing in your marriage and being able to survive the challenges and growth spurts that are going to happen. What do you tell people in terms of when they go out there who are in that sort of desperate, I'm really lonely and want a man or a woman, energy?
Yep, I love the question. It's been said that we attract and we have the relationships we deserve. And one of the things that I love to do in working with my dating coaching clients is to look at the patterns, the types of problems that have existed in relationships in the past. And one of the things you can do is look at all your major relationships and draw sort of a T chart. And on the left-hand side, you write all the positives, the things that really attracted you to this person. On the right-hand side, all the negatives, the things that caused the relationship to break up. And you will see patterns. And so sometimes people consistently choose womanizers, or they consistently choose alcoholics or drug addicts or people who are dishonest or cheaters. The reason that happens is because we don't think enough of ourselves to choose a better person. We think that that's all we deserve, and it's not even a conscious choice. This is subconscious stuff. So your question's very, very pointed, JJ, because you know that we need to do this work on ourselves, and until we love ourselves, we will not be able to attract a healthy partner. Let's just say it this way. The partner in our future will be as healthy as we are ourselves. So especially when you're feeling needy, when you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I need somebody to fill me up, somebody to make me whole, somebody to compliment me, somebody to fill my life up. That's the very moment to hit the yoga class, hit the hiking trail, look inside to find ways of loving and nurturing who you are, feeling good about who you are, cleaning up your past, things that you've done that you don't feel good about. All those things will erode your ability to attract a healthy partner in the future. The solutions are in those 12-step programs, they're in the meditation programs, they're in spiritual discovery, personal growth and development. Find your guru and work through that stuff. And the better you do, the more healthy the future partner can be who will be drawn toward you.
Yes, well, on this show, obviously, we talk about that a lot, and this is about empowering the person to be the best they can be and love themselves to the depth that they choose to and accept themselves, and then from there you attract everything else. So, but I know in your world of dating, if I'm seeking someone to help me find somebody, I'm guessing 9 times out of 10 there's sort of it's a I need it now kind of process, not can you help me out for the next 5 years to develop me into the kind of partner I want to attract. And so I'm sure you probably have a little bit of that intro period. Are there, and you just mentioned it in the yoga, in the 12-step program, and the meditations, are there any like favorite top books, with maybe 2 or 3, or things that you recommend to most people?
I love everything from Alison Armstrong's world. She has an online downloadable product called the Queen's Code, and for women it's a great place to start. It can seem insurmountable because our problems are deep-rooted, but seriously, it's a daily process, one day at a time, and it's all about practicing being loving. And that means, it's like people think, oh, I'll be loving once I have somebody in my life. No, it's every day. How do you treat the person in front of you in line at the supermarket? How do you treat the people on the road behind the steering wheels of the cars that are in your way? How do you treat the telemarketer who bugs you at home at 7:30 at night when you do not want that phone to ring? It's those little opportunities we have to practice kindness that will cause us to feel better about who we are as human beings. And the better we treat ourselves, the better we treat everybody else, the more we will naturally draw other people toward us. So part of it is a day in and day out practice of kindness and being good to ourselves and to others. But then you got to have an action strategy. It's like if you're looking for a job, you're not just going to expect the job to fall into your lap. You're going to have to put your resume out there. You're going to have to do some networking. And the same is true about love. People think, oh, it'll happen when we're not looking. Here's what I say about that. If it is happening all by itself when you're not looking and the perfect partner just floats into your lap like a feather on the breeze, goody for you. Go for that one. But my experience is that for a lot of people it doesn't happen that way. So the solutions are to love ourselves, to develop our flirting and our ability to hold that eye contact and smile and genuinely be present and available to people, accessible to people. But get that contact information. Get the courage. You meet somebody at the car wash. Well, here's how to find me. Here's my phone number. How will I ever find you again? It's those playful little moments where we have the chance to either shut down or engage. And the answers are through the process of engaging. And if it's a girl, you're thinking, gosh, how can I get this guy to call me? You can say something like, here's my phone number. You know what? If you called me and asked me out for a drink, I'd probably say yes. It's those little things. You can also throw yourself up online and do the online dating thing. For sure, people should be registered with their local matchmakers. Look in your community and see, because a lot of the matchmakers do what I do. They privately inventory everybody. So when we're searching for our clients, we have no shortage of fantastic candidates to consider. So if somebody really wants to know how to do that, they should just register with me at julieferman.com, and I will be happy to connect them with any matchmakers in their area.
Excellent. Well, that's awesome. So anyone listening, and it's free, so definitely connect with Julie. Her link will be on the fittolove.tv website on the podcast site. And I know that you've got, your favorite, like one thing that you'd recommend to each single love seeker to do this coming year. But before we get to that, I do need to take a moment and thank our sponsors.
If you are like most people who struggle with overeating, you may feel powerless over your habits and urges to eat. Powerless over what and how much you eat. Break the vicious cycle of emotional eating and take back your power over food with Dr. Lisa Gelper. Dr. Lisa Gelper has helped thousands discover their own power over food and help them to win freedom from the obsession and defeat that haunt yo-yo dieters, emotional eaters, and those who just hope to lose some weight. Visit her site at poweroverfood.com to read her articles, watch her videos, sign up for her monthly email tips, and check out her current classes. Again, that's poweroverfood.com. Having a hard time losing weight even when you eat well and exercise? You may have weight loss resistance. The Metabolic Makeover audio program will uncover the 7 factors of weight loss resistance and guide you towards identifying what to do about it. Discover what common foods and toxins hinder fat from being released from the body and how you can naturally increase your metabolism. Let Dr. Alan Peters, Jeannie Peters, and I walk you through the steps of weight loss resistance so you can overcome it once and for all. Visit the products page on fittolove.tv to download it now.
Okay, Julie, what's the one thing that you'd recommend that each single love seeker do this coming year?
The one thing that I think every single person should do in this coming year to generate something exciting to happen in their love life is to plan a party. Like, don't wait for somebody else to plan the party. You be the one to plan the party. It's really simple to do. You host a +1 party. So that means you invite your favorite people, usually around the same age range as you, have each person bring an opposite sex friend to share. That's their ticket in. They don't get to go to the party unless they bring somebody with them to share. And it needs to be somebody you don't know yet, because the whole reason for you to be planning this party is you're building your black book. And the thing that bothers me about this is that I host these parties all the time, and I can't tell you how many people say, "Oh, Julie, listen, I'd love to come. I just don't have anybody to bring." Now, some of these people have been dating for a year, 2 years, 3 years. If you're dating and you aren't making friends along the way, you are burning your bridges. So how it happens is people meet somebody and think, "Oh, he's not the right one," and they just discard him. They just dismiss him, like yesterday's trash. This guy is not yesterday's trash. This guy is a new friend that you can tuck into your little black book and stay friendly with him, because his cousin might be your future partner, but not if you burn the bridge. Make sense?
Absolutely. So having a party, are there any other, I know that we just said that's the most important one, but what are some other tips people can be doing this year?
Well, I think it's a good idea to put yourself strategically in a place where you can be found. So for a lot of people, that's doing the online dating thing. I do not discourage people from doing online dating. But like my mama said, if you're going to do something, do it right or don't bother to do it at all. And the number one complaint that we have about people that are doing online dating is they're meeting people who don't look like their photos and have misrepresented themselves. So if you're going to do online dating, make everything on your profile be true. I know everybody's going to say, "Oh, but I have to fudge about my age for a few years, otherwise I'm going to get all the old people." If you simply must fib about your age, don't fib more than a few years, otherwise you will not get second dates. You just won't. And the most important thing is you have to have good current face and body shots. No matter what your body looks like today, if you want to get past the first date, you have to post good current body shots. And there's a really inexpensive way to do it. In Canada and the U.S., there's a company called Look Better Online. I use them with a lot of my clients nationally and throughout Canada. And they do a really good job. They do only dating photos. So it's not like Sears Roebuck shot. It's really good photos that are you on a good day in the right light, wearing a couple different outfits. And so do invest in photography, or at least get a friend to take a good quality photo of you, not the sunglass shot, not the baseball cap shot, and it doesn't need to be, sleazy. It shouldn't be sleazy. It should be dignified if you are looking for a relationship. So do that, do the online dating thing, and get registered with your local matchmakers so they can find you when they're searching, and that is what I call strategically placing yourself where you can be found.
Excellent. All right. So, Julie, if someone wants to work with you, how can you help them if they live outside of California? Tell us a little bit about your business and about how to get in touch with you.
Sure. No matter where people live on the planet, if they're on the planet Earth, we can help them as long as they speak English and as long as they have an internet connection. Just register with us privately. It's julieferman.com, Ferman, and tell us who you are. And then it's free and it's private. We will always respond, and we'll help you determine based on who you are and where you live in the world what we think would be a good recommendation for you. Matchmaking is not for everybody, and we will help you determine if you might be a good candidate for matchmaking. And if not, you should at least be registered where we can find you. There are sometimes when people are in a specific niche, or, if somebody's looking for somebody that's not typically looking for them back, it's not necessarily a good fit for matchmaking, but we will be compassionate and honest in helping you determine what your best chances are of finding the right person and what vehicles you should probably be using.
All right, so julieferman.com. The link will be on fittolove.tv. Come on over to the site and find more information about Julie and how you can register for free. And Julie, thank you so much. I know we're going to have you back on the show. I appreciate your time today, and hopefully everyone listening took good, copious notes and heard and understood. And if you have any questions, we'd love to hear comments on the site or reach out to Julie so that we can make sure that 2015 is your best year yet. Thank you so much for being here, Julie.
Thank you, JJ. I appreciate the opportunity.
Is your website working for you? If it's not, Every Angle Media can help transform your existing business presence and build you a website that works when you're not working. Visit us online at everyanglemedia.com. Do you commit to an exercise program every year and then give up within the first 60 days? Are you ready to be accountable to yourself and uncover the personalized changes that will work for you long term? Consider the 30-day Jumpstart program. Visit the products page on fittolove.tv to get started today. The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly videocasts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT2LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.